The three-judge panel took less than 24 hours to decide that the redistricting plan passed last spring by the legislature just wouldn't hack it. The panel threw out Senate Bill 1 and accepted what's called plaintiff's Plan C. Plan C is totally different from the legislature's plan, especially in urban districts. Dan Weiser, plaintiff in the case and author of Plan C, explains how it affects Dallas and Fort Worth.
Probably the most striking change is in Dallas, is to give Oak Cliff its long sought-for congressman. At least the area will dominate the 24th Congressional District, the new district. That's in this area right here. It leaves the district that Representative Collins and the two districts where Representative Collins and Cabell are in pretty much where they were before. That is, Collins is now in the northern part of Dallas County, and it's completely in the county, and the 5th Congressional District now takes the Eden part again. But we don't lose a slice out to any other congressman over there. So we have 3 congressmen representing Dallas County. The 24th, in addition to Oak Cliff, also includes Ellis and Hill counties. Now in Tarrant County, there's been quite a change also, in that now Tarrant County dominates 2 congressional districts. On the north part of Tarrant is added to Denton, Collin, and Cook counties, and on the south, most of Hood and Johnson are added to the southern part of Tarrant, so that, in effect, Tarrant County now has received an additional congressman.
In its opinion, the panel left the legislature a way out. The court said it would consider any constitutional plan passed by the legislature, and even said it would consider extending the filing deadline past February 7th, given enough evidence that legislators might take action. That puts the ball right back in Austin. This is Phil Reynolds, Channel 8 News on the Move at the Federal Building.
Dr. Estes, now that you've had a chance to evaluate the situation at this school, what is your comment?
Well, it's obvious that we had a minor incident here at Skyline.
There are those who might take what happened here at Skyline as an indication that integration is not working in the Dallas public schools, that busing is a failure. What do you say to them?
I think the response of our people and the response that we've had from our parents has been most encouraging and suggests that we really have earned the label of City of Excellence.
But what would you say to those parents and to those students who might be fearful now for their safety because of this incident here at Skyline? Maybe not just so much at Skyline, but in other schools in the Dallas public school system.
Well, the situation that happened here, a senior prank that exploded into the situation that we saw Friday, could have happened anywhere, be it an integrated school or not. This could happen anywhere, and I think this need not interfere with the orderly process of implementing our court-ordered desegregation plan.
There are those, though, who are looking for excuses to say that it's not working and can use this as such an excuse.
Well, I think this would be unfortunate. We are in the process of making sure that we do everything possible to provide quality education for our children. And I would like to ask our parents to assist us, to support us by cooperating with us in moving ahead with our program and our plans.
In response to Mr. Ali Reed's recent allegations that Mexican-American, quote, community leaders, unquote, have not been able to come up with qualified persons for executive positions, we demand CAA to produce the applications of Chicanos who have applied for executive positions with the CAA for the past 3 years. We know of qualified individuals who have applied for positions and have not been considered. We demand OEO to conduct an extensive investigation of hiring practices. It has been brought to our attention that personnel policies are not equally enforced among all employees. Without substantial improvements in the conduct and performance of the CAA, we believe it would be better to terminate CAA in Tarrant County.
Well, it came as a shock, you know, despite the fact that the leadership sort of had expected it. There's also a great deal of disappointment at the UN. The idea that we, as a member, a founder of the United Nations, could be expelled for no fault at all on our part. We have not done anything in violation, in breach of the Charter itself. And it sort of hurt us a great deal. And there was a resentment, naturally, against the World Organization itself. But I think we have got over that now. We realize it's no use crying over spilt milk. What's more important is to where do we go from here?
Well, I'm looking for a rough game on the boards, and I feel that the game will be won there if we can contain them on the boards. I believe that we have enough shooters and ability to beat them offensively.
I noticed in this morning's paper, Coach Pruitt was real concerned about the rebounding situation. I think against A&M, you all were out rebounded something like 66 to 40. So have you all really worked on the rebounding this week?
We've worked on rebounding and a lot of defense this week, and I believe that we can rebound with anybody.
I also noticed that Tazinski is, well, he might not play because he has the flu. So if you all do start 3 guards, don't you think this might be a disadvantage as far as the rebound situation?
Well, yeah, I think it'll be a little disadvantage, but Bobby's been averaging right up there, you know, second or third, second or third rebounding anyway. And I don't know if he starts to hurt us, then you know, they'll take one of the guards out and put another forward in.
I guess maybe a lot of us know that you are the first black athlete to receive a basketball scholarship here at SMU. Is that right?
Yes, sir.
Okay, coming from, say, Illinois, where I think that most junior colleges and high school play a wide open brand of basketball, whereas here in Texas, it's kind of a controlled game. Did you have to make a big adjustment to this type of ball?
Oh, yeah, I had to make an adjustment. It's not like run and shoot down here the way it is back home, but it's more deliberate type. But you adjust to it, I guess. You know.
I understand that schools come to participate from all over the states.
Yes, we have, of course, mostly Texas schools, but I think we have 5 from Louisiana and 4 from Oklahoma and 1 from Brooklyn, New York.
What was the school in Brooklyn?
It's a St. Brendan school, Catholic girls' school from Brooklyn.
Is there any difference between someone competing in the duet acting or, say, someone competing in original oratory?
Yes, of course, duet acting, as the name implies, is strictly an acting event where the 2 people will take a 10 to 12-minute cutting from some play or other piece of literature and actually act it out with the lines memorized just like you'd see on a play. Oratory, they write their own speech, usually 6-7 minutes long, and get up, and persuasive delivery, oratorical style is what counts.
Statewide, it'll have a strong impact because whereas under the old system we had 3 congressional seats that we had a shot at winning, I'd have to say from looking at the opinion that we now have a shot at 6 or possibly 7 seats. 3 of the seats are probably safely classified as safe Republican seats. Now, then there are 3 or 4 other seats that we can possibly win. So I think you'll see a stronger and more aggressive Republican congressional campaign statewide.
Why do you think this is important to have a strong 2-party system in Texas?
Well, I think it's good for the people of the state of Texas. A 2-party system furnishes the checks and balances that are needed to see that politicians don't end up getting their hand in the till, and it keeps them honest, so to speak. And I think the people of Texas deserve and want a government or state government that responds to the needs of this state, is free of suspicion and free of scandal.
The Trinity River is already navigable. You cannot build a north-south road or a bridge across the Trinity River now without making it a navigation bridge. Where we have 4 roads south of the Trinity River. We only have one east-west road north of the Trinity River, which is Highway 183. And as this area continues to development, we're going to have more east-west passage through the northern part of the two counties.
I would say that we have a moderate outbreak. If you would like to call it an epidemic, that's fine. But since we have no figures to compare to previous years, it would be hard to define it so.
Is this Hong Kong variety of flu? Are the symptoms the same?
It's an Asian A2 influenza. Actually, as far as symptoms are concerned, there is no difference whether it's an A strain or B strain.
What are the symptoms?
Well, the symptoms are an abrupt onset of fever, headache, prostration, chills, cough, and some sore throat.
What can the victims of this disease do for themselves?
Well, at the first sign of an attack of flu, one should go to bed, call his physician because there might be some complications, and then plenty of rest, fluids, aspirin, and that's all.
How long do you expect this epidemic will last?
I think that we are right now in the midst of it. Of course, even though it's a beautiful day today, we are in the winter season, and usually it goes through winter.
The restaurant business is in one of those strange backwaters of the law. Cafe owners can raise their prices and the wages paid to their workers, but only to the extent that raw agricultural prices go up. Even then, the profits they are allowed are tied into a complex economic formula. I talked about the situation with Bill McCoy, board chairman of the Texas Restaurant Association.
Of course, the most important thing that's happened to the restaurants is that we became a service industry instead of a retail industry. And now we do not have to post our prices in the restaurants as the retail outlets are having to do.
Are the consumers going to benefit from the freeze?
We are in hopes that they do. Of course, we have a lot of adjusting and analyzing of our menus to keep from having to raise our prices, but we do have the authority and the permission from the Internal Revenue and from Phase 2 to raise our prices when we need them.
So in other words, food prices in restaurants could go up faster than the general economy.
Well, we're in hopes that they don't, because if we do, we will send the people back to their homes and they will not be eating out. So we'll be real careful before we make that move of raising our prices.
So, while restaurant prices may legally rise, the consumer will probably not be affected to any great extent. Now, that's largely due to the new laws allowing liquor by the drink. McCoy says that selling mixed drinks builds customer volume. That volume allows restaurant owners to hold the line on food prices. For Channel 8 News on the Move, I'm Jay Lewis in Fort Worth.
In a way, it's ironic that racial trouble would flare at this school because Skyline is the showplace for the Dallas public school system, a $21 million complex known nationally for its career programs. The initial student body was about 900 when the school opened a year ago, but the number of students has grown to more than 4 times that number and is now 20% black, with many other blacks bussed in because of court-ordered desegregation. And the challenge for this school is how to continue education despite racial tensions.
Of course, we're most concerned about what happened. We're very concerned about the safety and the welfare of the young people, our teachers, and others in our schools. This is a top priority of this school district. And we are now taking every precaution to make sure that the safety and the welfare of our children are appropriately protected. What I'm trying to say is that we did have a minor incident here. It exploded beyond what it normally would have because of the tensions at this particular time. I think that if we can get the cooperation of all involved, there need not be any repetition of this.
We have the philosophy here of talking with our students. We have the philosophy of letting the students have a piece of the action. This problem will be solved by student action, not by action that I take.
And on the bulletin board at Skyline is a reminder to students of what this year could be. And for this school especially, tomorrow is the first day of the rest of this year. Jack Hill, Channel 8 News on the Move.